hard hitting in this game, too, because if you'll remember, it's Jusuf Nurkic. It's Draymond Green. Back in December, the slap heard around the league that got Draymond Green indefinitely suspended. It was 12 games. It's the first time they're facing each other, and it didn't take long for them to reimagine their pleasantries. Here we go. Jusuf Nurkic backing down Green. Green called for the foul, and here we go. Both teams riding a 3-game win streak, so they're both hot. They both need this game. Oh, and the ball's going the other way. Draymond Green drawing the charge. I'm in his head. I'm in his head. Third quarter, we're tied at 70. Watch this move by Jusuf. Oh, you're too small for the Bosnian beast. 26 minutes played, 6 points. You're too small, Draymond. And then Draymond, less than a minute later, no. You're too small, Jusuf Nurkic. Here's what I think about that.
Can get bullied a couple plays later if you're going to do that. Man will probably outweigh me by 70 pounds. And you get put in the rim, got to be more careful.
All right, he's got a point. Tail of the tape. Nurkic, 7 foot 290. Draymond, 6'6", 230. The difference there, 60 pounds, give or take. You know, we're in the middle of the season. Oh, Steph, come on, dude. 18 made three-pointers in his last 2 games. You know he was going to get his. That over the outstretched arms of the pterodactyl that is Kevin Durant. And then you leave your feet, I teach. You know that's what they say.
They do.
Warriors up by 1. It's Steph with another triple. But you know who can get it in too? Devin Booker. 3 of his 32. Only hit a couple 3-pointers in the game. Suns within 1 and then a little bit more close range. The Suns were on the road, but they were getting that Bay Area bounce. We're tied at 108. Next Suns possession, it's Bradley Beal. 15 points. The range is mid. The shot is not. Phoenix, winners of 5 of their last 6 when their big 3 suits up together. Booker again after Steph hit the teardrop, and then Book again in the lane, putting the Suns up 2 with 35 to play. There's 10 seconds to play. Bradley Beal, 1 of 4 from 3. This was not the one. So Phoenix just up by 2. The Warriors secure the rebound. They drop a play with 2.8 seconds left. Wonder who's going to get the ball. Steph Curry. Bradley Beal went for the steal. He should have went for the D because Steph Curry made him pay. 12 go-ahead field goals in the final 5 seconds of a fourth quarter or an overtime. That leads the association since he entered the league back in 2009. All his former teammate can do is just smile, man. Yeah, I used to be on that guy's team. Pass was off. Warriors win by 1. It was snug. Draymond and Nurkic, they took this into the locker room.
They didn't learn anything, man. It's just a matter of time. You're going to knock somebody else again. So take everything back what I said. You don't deserve a chance. So that's it for me.
He said after the game that he felt that your antics tonight proves that you didn't learn anything. I'm just wondering if you had any response to that.
I mean, I thought I was pretty great tonight, honestly. So I thought, he tried to get in my head and it didn't work. If he want me to walk around quiet like him, I'm never going to do that. Quiet guys don't win. I thought I was pretty great tonight. He can keep riding the same horse that he rode in on. He can ride his ass on out here on the same horse. It ain't working.
I believe Jusuf Nurkic's exact quotes about a month ago were, that brother needs help. Draymond Green has been fantastic as of late, averaging more rebounds and assists than he was prior to the suspension, and his plus-minus of 127 tied with Jalen Brunson for the 8th.
Golden State ekes out the 113-112 win. Stephen A. Smith, Michael Wilbon, Bob Myers, I'm Malika Andrews. It feels like, Bob, we need to start with you because the three of us were standing there watching on this big screen as Steph Curry somehow, some way is able to make that 3. Just walk me through your vantage point of that.
Well, that's who he is, right? That's what he does. It's just, even when you expect it out of him, it's still amazing to watch. Not many guys can make that shot. We were criticizing Beal for gambling a little bit, but still Curry caught the ball 5 feet behind the line and made it look pretty easy. I mean, it's just that even if you take that shot from most NBA players, he got it off so fast. And great game. two teams that wanted it. Phoenix, Booker was fantastic down the stretch, but Curry, Warriors have played so many close games this year and been in that position so many times, and it's going to start going their way as it has a little bit. So it's a big win, and 6 out of the last 7.
On this Super Bowl weekend, it's like the free safety making a gamble and oops. And you can see if you're Bradley Beal and you know, a pretty good defensive player, and instinctively you're thinking, let me tip this away so Steph Curry doesn't get this. Oops. The Warriors we're at the need to win point. I'm not saying must win. Need to win for these teams in the West. And so the Warriors needed that game probably a little bit more than the Suns did.
I walk away thinking about three things. Number one, like you said, it's what he does, right? I'm thinking about that comedian Deion Cole with those Old Spice commercials with the tears coming up. It's what he does. It's what he does, right? I'm thinking about that. That's number one. Number two, yes, you can blame Bradley Beal only because the person that you were trying to deny the ball to happens to be the greatest shooter God ever created.
Fair.
You don't want him to get the ball. And last but not least, I'm sorry to disappoint and upset people, but when I saw what I saw with Steph Curry hitting that shot, particularly in the last moments when Kevin Durant was walking off the court, I said to myself, that's who you elected to leave. And it makes me wonder if Kevin Durant will ever be a champion again, because that guy is no longer your teammate. I'm sorry, but that is the thought that came to my mind.
Well, Kevin Durant's hoping
Still doing it.
that with his new big three, he's going to be able to do it. But it does feel like this is a get-right stretch for the Golden State Warriors. We'll see just how long they can push it. We've talked about this as being a big game for
7
them.
of their last 10, holding on
Exactly.
to that play-in spot for now.
Test. That's going to do it for us for now. Sending it back to you guys.
They can get together again. Can they?
Really?
They can get together again.
Don't leave that man.
Let me show you exactly what I mean here. The Warriors have won 6 of their last 9 games while outscoring opponents by a league-best 11.2 points per game during that stretch. In fact, all 3 losses, they've come.
Here at Once Upon a Farm, we chose the new Capital One Venture X business card with no preset spending limit.
By 1 point, or they came in overtime. And this stretch started 1 game after Draymond Green returned from suspension. He's been a key to their defensive improvement, holding opponents to a league-low 37% shooting as the primary defender. And then there's Jonathan Kuminga, because while Steph has been Steph, scoring 33 points per game during the stretch, Kuminga has continued to step up as a second option on offense, scoring just under 24 points a game on 60% shooting recently. So really, it's always been Steph and Clay, right? It's been the Splash Brothers. It's been Steph and KD, or maybe with a little bit of side of Dre. But it's kind of an interesting thought exercise now, Stephen A. Who is the second best player for the Golden State Warriors?
Well, the second best player is Jonathan Kuminga right now, as far as I'm concerned. But the key player outside of Steph Curry is going to be Klay Thompson, because as he goes, the Warriors go to some degree outside of Steph Curry because of his struggles. 17 points per game this year, the lowest of his career. 41.7% shooting, the lowest of his career. We're talking about one of the greatest shooters we have ever seen in the history of basketball, literally only having about 5 guys who are shooting worse than him, with a minimum of 500 field goal attempts this season. That's Jordan Poole, that's Max Strus, that's Fred VanVleet, that's Jalen Green, and that's Jordan Clarkson. I never, ever, ever in my wildest dreams would have thought I've reached a point where I'm looking at Klay Thompson and associating him with anything bad when it comes to shooting the basketball. But that's where we are right now. If he improves with the way Kuminga's looking, with the way Steph's looking, with the way Draymond is looking at how they look defensively, outscoring teams 13 points better when Draymond Green is on the court. I'm telling you right now, if Klay Thompson gets going, look out for the Golden State Warriors. But we haven't seen it.
Let's let our steam have the last word.
This man picked the Warriors in 22. He knows. He might be the only guy in 22 to pick the Warriors with a championship. So he's allowed to have his time. But look, I think that's all perfect. Draymond Green, since he's been back, the Warriors 3rd in offensive efficiency, 5th in defense. That's a mark of a very good team.
Yeah.
Kuminga stepping it up, like you said, Malika, 60% from the field last 12 games, 45% from 3. He's been their second best offensive player. Wiggins was that in 22. Can Kuminga be that in 24? I don't think Klay is going to keep shooting like he has. He's too good a shooter to stay, like you mentioned, the worst numbers of his career. You watch him shoot in warm-up. This is not a guy that should be shooting 41% 50% from the floor. That's just doesn't make any sense. But he's got to find his way out of it. The Warriors are playing the best basketball of their season right now. Draymond Green coming back has unlocked that Wiggins-Kuminga combination that was not working at all. Steph Curry's been Steph Curry, and they're coming together. They didn't do a lot at the deadline. I don't think they needed to do a lot. Podziemski's playing great. Need more from Wiggins, need more from Clay. But tonight, they're playing a real team. The Phoenix Suns are playing the best basketball of their season so far, too. So I wish I could be at this game. This game's like 15 minutes from my house, and I can't go. But anyways, I get to watch it.
At least
LA traffic took you the wrong way. Draymond Green is the second most important player on the team.
Okay.
He may not be the second best. He's certainly the second most important. Steph Curry, Draymond Green. You mentioned all that defensively. Bob just mentioned how he unlocked a combination of Kuminga and Wiggins. Draymond Green. I mean, when Draymond's playing this well, and we expect this from him defensively, but he's given him more again, not 5 years ago, Draymond Green offensively, but improved enough offensively that you've got Draymond, you've got Kuminga. The question is, what can you get from Wiggins and Clay the rest of the day? What can you get from them tonight to beat Phoenix, a game that each team actually needs?
So, Bob, Curry's never had a Kuminga really before, someone who's athletic, can drive, can be a paint presence. We saw the other night, Steph Curry was the only player against the Brooklyn Nets to make a three. It feels like fundamentally the way that they are playing has changed. So if it is Kuminga, who you're saying, right, is the second best player right now, even if he's not the most important, second best, how far can they go with that Kuminga-Curry duo?
Well, they had Durant, who's pretty...
who's back tonight.
Who's back tonight. He did have Durant, who checks all the boxes, athletically and everything. It's fascinating for me to watch Kuminga come into his own. I mean, this is, you always like Kuminga. We've talked about Kuminga years ago. This will be a fascinating test for Kuminga because some of these games the Warriors have played have not been against great teams. They've played well, but this is a real test tonight. I know he respects Durant. He's going to have to guard somebody great on the opposing team, but the ascension of Kuminga gives this team a chance. It really does. Well, you mentioned Draymond Green, too.
I'll say this. 45% shooting from three is a very, very big deal because we're accustomed to seeing them make threes. Someone other than Steph Curry. When you looked at Wiggins when you won the chip a couple of years ago, Wiggins was doing a lot of things that we're seeing Kuminga doing now. Kuminga is younger, more athletic, one could argue. Obviously playing with considerably more energy. If he can keep this up, that offsets a lot of the negative stuff that we thought about the Golden State Warriors in a way that they were trending. Suddenly you have to halt that, and now you pray. Klay Thompson, find yourself, get it back. And by the way, I don't want to hear another damn word about Klay Thompson potentially being upset, having reached an accord on the contract situation or whatever. Yeah, when you go home, that's fine. But when you're on a basketball court, actually bouncing, dribbling, running up and down the court, I don't believe for 1 second, oh my God, I'm depressed, I don't have my contract right now, and that's why I'm missing jump shots. Damn that. Damn that. You can play this. Listen, at Klay Thompson with these low numbers, for him, at least 25 teams will be happy with numbers like that. This man can still play.
Yeah.
Just go out there and play.
Well, and they might. Be happy.
Các bạn vừa xem xong